Prejudging people or tools, you shouldn't do it. Simple. Pick this guy up out of the box, move it around. Super, super light tool. Put a 6 amp hour battery in it. It's got a little heft. That's what I got in it right now. But you can still see very, very, very light tool. Looked at it and said, floor dryer. Am I going to compare it to our squirrel cage type floor dryers? What am I going to do with it? So I started washing a car and just wanted to say, hey, what's it going to do? Hey guys, Brian with WorkshopAddict.com, and we're going to take a look at the new Ryobi 18 volt hybrid surface dryer. This is model number P3330, so you can use this with a Ryobi 1 plus 18 volt battery. Currently they go all the way up to 9 amp hour, or you can use this with a cord. I want to note that this is a 2-prong battery connection, so it's not a brushless tool and it doesn't use the advanced features of the new high performance or larger Ryobi batteries. With that said, it's $79 in Home Depot currently. So it's a new tool. I'm sure it'll see some sales. And I guess it's going to be marketed a little bit towards people who are going to need to dry a floor or possibly hang something on the top of it, like a floor is wet sign. And I can really see that. When I first pulled this out of the box, I thought, cool, it is A, nice and quiet. So this is low. That's high. So you have 2 speeds. Speed 1 is 200 CFM max. Speed 2 is 300 CFM max. And it is very, very quiet. That's something in my shop that I like because personally I have a need for airflow. I want to keep everything in here dry. I want to also move around all the heat that we have going. We have 16-foot tall ceilings and it's nice to move that around. And where we store our cars, I even like that more, even though we don't have the tall ceilings, because I like to move air underneath the cars and around so I don't have any humidity sitting there. So while I'm going through some of this testing, I didn't expect it to really work as well as I thought. And mostly I'm going to put that on Ryobi. First, you read the box and it says dries the floor up to 4.5 times faster. We have a wash bay on the other side of our shop. Pull our cars in there, we wash everything up, and that floor will stay wet for hours. So I'm thinking if this is only going to go 4.5 times faster, it's going to take a long time to dry a floor because it just is comparing it to normal air. So we put this in there and I was surprised at the amount of floor that it would dry in a 360-degree pattern around it. Granted, it's not drying a whole room, it's just drying the area around it fairly quickly. I mean, I'm judging by the amount of songs here and me drying the car, probably about 5 to 6 minutes. It dried it so fast that I actually put it up against my normal floor dryer that I run in there after I wash a car, and I was very surprised to see that the Ryobi small floor dryer actually started drying the floor around this unit before the floor dryer started to get to some of the area directly in front of it. It was actually pretty amazing. Now, I will say if you're going to use this to dry a room or a basement or anything like that, this is a smaller unit that's not going to push air out into a large 1,000 square foot room. While it will definitely help, that's where I see you might have the 4.5 times faster. I see this working really, really, really good in a small 10 by 10 area. Is it going to be as fast or move as much air as a larger squirrel cage type floor dryer? No, but it's going to move air quietly, and it's going to move air and it's going to dry in the area around it. So if you have a door, and let's say a door in your business, a door in the school, a door in your shop, or some area where people are walking in and they're bringing all that snow or rain in and the floor gets slippery, this could sit there right next to it and keep that dry without an issue. that surprised me. It really did, guys. It was one of those things that I kind of looked at this and said, man, this is really light. It is what it is. Is it really going to do the job that's saying? And it did. I think we can prove that to you with what we've shown. It's quite interesting. So if we take a look at it, the air comes in from the top. It goes through a fan that's pointed directly down. There are some dimples on that fan. I'm assuming they put those in there to try to make this a little bit quieter. That was very nice of them, because I'm sure that cost them a few pennies to do, and they didn't have to, but it does definitely work. The air comes out all the way around this guy. There are a few little areas here where it's connected, but they're just basically fins that connect the bottom to the top portion of the unit where the motor is housed. With that said, there were a couple areas in the testing that water seemed not to push away from, and there's just little areas that were pushed up. And I'm not sure if that was because of how the floor is sloped in there and where the water wanted to drain downhill. They did move and seem to stay in one area, but there's really no reason for it when you look inside. With that said, I just took this wrap that they have around the top that's meant to hold a sign that says wet floor, wrapped it around, kind of twisted it at the end, and put the Velcro over the top. So I still have it if I ever wanted to use that to hang this, which is another interesting idea. If you wanted to have something lightweight and a battery that could, you know, just sit high. If you had a boat or something, that this too would be excellent to put in. 6 amp hour battery on high, running for 20 minutes down 1 bar. Ryobi says 9 amp hour battery on low, 15 hours. So it will chew up a battery on high fairly quickly. I would guess we're gonna get about an hour and a half on a 6 amp hour battery out of this guy, maybe a touch longer. The only other thing that would have been nice is if this held itself open up top, so you didn't have to have 2 hands to get the battery in and out. You can see that's where we plug everything in. I want to know in the comments, $79, too much? What do you think? To me, would I spend my own hard-earned money on this? Yes. And the reason why is because I have different situations with cars and other things that I like to move air on the floor and move it underneath. Is this anything compared to the Ryobi air cannon as far as air movement? No. Is it anything compared to a normal floor dryer? Like if you had a basement flood or something like that where you needed to go to the store and I'm gonna get a full floor dryer? No. It does not compare to that. But for those different situations where you might need to have something going, this will work. And I will have this running in my shop 24/7. I will run it off a cord. So we still have that air cannon that is completely running, no issues. And that's been going pretty much 24/7 since we got it. This will be in the same boat. As always, I love to hear your comments. I'd buy it because of my situation. I'm curious if you'll buy it, to put it in your basement, to put it in different areas, or just to have it to dry a small floor. If you're like me and you do wash cars in a small area, that's where this guy's gonna live. It's gonna run 24/7 over there, help the dehumidifiers get some of that air out, the humidity out, and will kick some butt. So, as always, comments appreciated. Time is appreciated. Don't prejudge some of these tools. Some of them work. Hopefully you guys can find some deals on it. Let everyone else know if you find this dude on sale. As always, we appreciate your time, guys. Have a great day.